Travis Wingood. So, going over the news, I'm falling in love with Allison again. But other stories on Fox 13 News, just roll right on through, are disturbing to me. I don't think they're seeing it, but the trends are not good. The first one that I came across had to do with an attempt on trying to claim the Colorado River water. This I've been noticing lately, as February is supposed to be our snow dump month if January fails. Over the last several years, Utah has not gotten their necessary amount of snow. As I witnessed that it was happening at the month of February to try to catch up, and that's not good for Utah in regards to our water needs. We're headed for not just a drought, but we're headed for a water shortage. And I'm not seeing anybody talking about that. But I do see that they're trying to claim the Colorado River water, which means they're getting desperate now. So that's something to be concerning about. Allison was discussing the brown snow, not yellow snow. Brown snow is not good either. But another one, where was it? Clean air. I'm very disturbed that Utah does not deal with our air quality, as we're in a valley. The combustion engine, which is over 100 years obsolete, is still being promoted here in Utah. Rachel Maddow did a book called Blowout, which dealt with how the gas and oil industries destroyed governments, and it just happened to coincide with the news about the Ukraine incident with the oil in there. When we had the shutdown here in Utah, our air cleaned up within a few days. It was amazing. I could actually breathe. But now, with the opening too early, the pollution came right back. And I've noticed that the air quality is worse than before the shutdown. So that also is disturbing, that our government is purposely poisoning us through the air, water, and soil, and have no interest in our well-being. And speaking of coronavirus, they have a title here that kind of pissed me off. Have soft closures in Utah schools been effective? Have they saved people's lives? Then yes, it was effective. It's just unbelievable. The whole purpose of closing down is to save lives, and yet nobody cares. Nope, the economy is more important. Here's one about a rapper putting a diamond implant in his forehead, which comes from the Marvel's Vision. If you've been watching WandaVision on Disney Plus, Infinity Wars, they show on the screen that keeps repeating itself as you hover over it. They've got Vision having Thanos pulling out the thing from his brain, which you see Wanda see in WandaVision. So there was a spoiler alert for you that I told you too late. Here's an investigation of Fox 13 News. And this also is a disturbing consequential trend from coronavirus. Coronavirus has murdered people because those in government have murdered people. They're forcing people to go to work, thus helping to spread and escalate the virus. And as a result, people get sick, they die, they lose their job. When you're dealing with schools, they're in a situation where what do we do when we no longer have qualified teachers? Fox 13 News, not talking about the bigger issue, but focusing on the observation. But the school systems are hiring people without doing a background check just so that they can have teachers fill the positions because they're required to open and put students, teachers, and families in jeopardy. Now, with the soft closures, church then turned to be the super spreader event. As time goes on, church is less of a super spreader, but it's still a super spreader. If we keep pushing to get kids in school, we're going to continue to spread and escalate the virus. Just as we all knew it was going to happen, but our government decided, oh, yeah, who cares? And so, yeah, it's now a situation where I've already seen it in Utah Transit Authority with the bus drivers. They're having to hire new bus drivers and train them rather quickly. And I'm seeing a high turnover rate from this past year. That's also disturbing. People I had known regularly are gone. Not just on YouTube with my subscribers who are just gone. They no longer communicate. But this is what happens. You have jobs that need to be filled, and it's part of an extortion compromise. If you understand how compromise works, it's a situation where they cause you to have a need to go to them, or you are already in a position to need them and go to them for assistance. In the case of financial assistance, you get loans. You know, they cause the economic crisis. Now you have to go to them for a loan. They give you a loan, you have to pay the interest. They already know you can't pay because you need a loan. And so you then are forced into a situation where if you don't commit crimes in order to pay them back, they then destroy you. In the United States, you take out a loan from a credit card or a loan agency or whatever when they know you can't pay them back. Then they come after you in the courts, destroy your life. They've already destroyed your credit rating, all that stuff. So yeah, those very disturbing trend that's being spread into other areas beyond just financial. And it's going to cause further problems down the road, because when you have unqualified educators, you have poorer quality teaching for the children, you also have a higher risk for those who are pedophiles and other criminals, which has been a problem here in Utah. So that's also a disturbing trend. And then I think there was another one. Where is it? Yeah, the childhood poverty gap. Utah has the lowest child poverty in the nation. So it appears like we're taking care of our people, right? Taking care of our children. There's a problem though. Latinos are not being taken care of, and in fact are the worst per capita in the whole nation. Just see how Utah's done this. They take care of the white kids and they destroy the Latino kids. This is a horrifying news report from Fox 13 News. News report finds childhood poverty education gaps. It's the biggest gap in the nation. Utah is the worst in this poverty and education gap. And yet, I've been with members of the church who are furious that the Latino community here in Utah are getting a free ride from the church through the Bishop's Storehouse and being given money to pay their bills. And apparently that's not the case either, guys. Church isn't helping. There are Spanish branches, Spanish wards here in Utah because of the high Mormon population among the Latino community, and yet they're not being taken care of. It's the worst treatment in the nation per capita. And so Utahns cannot claim that they're not racist. This kind of news report confirms Utah is racist. That the church is not helping. Not just because they're human beings in need of charity, but they're not helping Mormons just because they're Latino. But yet the church, in the church news, always talks about how the church gave charity to this, that, and the other. When you look at what charity they gave, then you go, oh, yeah, nothing. They give a token amount. They give one meal, if it's a full meal at all. So yeah, those are some disturbing trends that are going to experience future consequences if they are not stopped immediately and reversed. I mean, you can ignore me, you can hate me, but when your city says, I'm sorry, you have to ration your water, otherwise we're going to raise your water bill, or even worse, you're only allowed a certain amount of water, and after that they shut you down. You have to wait till the next day to use your portioned amount of water. Utah is among the highest of water users in the nation, and it's understandable. We're in a desert. When you're in a desert, you require more water. But that's sort of almost like a catch-22. whole idea of living in this desert valley was the worst inspiration ever created by Brigham Young, by mankind. But they blamed it on Joseph Smith. Oh, Joseph Smith said in secret before he died, that mob, we had nothing to do with it, but that mob, but Joseph Smith told us in secret that we were going to go, it was a prophecy, it was in secret, we were going to go to this valley, and so we bypassed California. If you look at the borders of Deseret, they intended to spread out into California. Go all the way up to Canada, all the way down into Mexico, and west. That was their intention. So don't think that just because they didn't go to California, they weren't planning to go there. They want their kingdom. Sexual assault reported on Utah campus. Another video yesterday as to why that's the case. Alrighty. We've got danger coming, guys. Danger.